And it comes from opening the heart with the energy frequency of the love.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you get to see yourself for the first time for who you truly are.
Right, right.
It's the culmination of the shadow work, the getting rid of all of the negative traits, right? And as you do that, that's called the purification of the ego.
Mm.
Once the ego has been purified, the authentic self can then operate the avatar authentically.
Right, right,
That means that you now everything you do is coming from what they call the true place,
right,
felt conversation, straight from the heart,
right.
a whole different brain than the one in your head, right? You got three major brains: the brain, the heart, and the intestine.
That's right.
Right. I like to use real life examples because that shit, it hit hard for us. So we're learning and I'm asking these questions and y'all giving these brilliant answers. But if I can ask a certain question and that should have hit. So let me ask a question. All right, Rod, we know Rod Hayes is unique. Everybody is unique. B-Dale's unique. RFG is unique. Rod Hayes is unique. Every single interview, Rod Hayes is lighting a spliff. He's the chief. Rod Hayes is the chief. He's chiefing every show. Rod Hayes is chiefing the whole show. Now let me give you a real scenario, Rod Hayes. Let's say that's the authentic Rod. He had the light right now. Rod Hayes had the light one right now. So let me give you a real life example of this. How does shit go down in this realm outside of this? Let's say Rod Hayes is a part of an organization. You reference, let's say, somebody you admire, you look up to, Malachi Z. York. Now, Malachi Z. York say, Rod Hayes, I don't want you chiefing while you speaking. Now, the chiefing takes away from who you are. Rod Hayes, do you follow the man who you look up to in the organization you are part of and stop chiefing? Or do you decide to go on your own, chief, to be your authentic self? This is the shit we are faced with outside of studying and reading shit in a book. Real life example, Rod Hayes, what are you going to do, my brother?
Well, I'm gonna be still chiefing, and the reason why is
Even if you kicked out the organization.
look. The reason why is the organization not gonna kick me out because I'll leave first because
Okay.
I will be disrespectful to the organization I'm part of.
Okay.
Right? As being in growth and development, we ain't told we can't smoke. That's not part of our doctrine,
Okay. Okay.
right? But it gives the allowance for the tobacco chief to express himself openly,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got a lot of people in the conscious community. Oh, these girls wearing weed. You invented it. You
Right.
invented it. The first people to wear wigs was us. We invented it. So if, naturally, if they're being naturally following what's in their DNA code, they will be attracted to it in order to do what the elders created it for.
Right.
To alter the appearance because you don't want to always look the same all the time.
Right.
Right? In olden times, that was called shape shifting.
Deep, bro.
Right? They call it in modern times master of disguise.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, the royal families did it. They done it to entertain and to put some pomp and glory to their positions of authority.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you got different expressions of the self from the true self that you just don't alter because it takes away from the genuine character of the person. Right? This wouldn't the 5%er, Class 13X, when he left, one of his contentions with the nation is that y'all rules is too strict.
Right.
What about the tobacco chiefs? They not finna follow the no smoking rule.
Right. You're right.
Because
Yeah.
it's in their nature as a tobacco chief in order to use the nicotine to facilitate higher thought to smoke. In order to use THC, in order to consciously connect with other realms of information, it's in the DNA. They got to blow the herbs.
Okay. Okay.
Right? The
Indeed.
Rastas say the man that blow the herb is thinking with the mind of God.
Right.
So that you can draw from either side of the family tree, whatever help you be your true self the best, and you can acknowledge that.
Mm.
And everybody don't supposed to agree all the time on everything.
Indeed. Indeed.
As soon as that happens, then we ain't going nowhere. We on a treadmill running to one spot.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Now I had to ask, like I said, I gotta ask real life examples with this scientific information so that the people, it could really hit hard with the people. Let me ask you this. So, all right, one of the things we talking about sacred geometry, and a lot of, you know, a popular topic is UFOs, or there's a UAPs that I think is a new term, and all this stuff. They say there's ships floating across states right now. One thing that's mentioned when you mention UFOs is crop circles. Now I always hear about black people invented this. Black people was the first to do. I always hear about the black man, the black man, the black man, the black man. What's the history, y'all? Somebody got it. Is there a history between crop circles and black people? Like what the fuck? Like this? Like I've never heard of ancient history between this black man discovered this crop circle, or this black man did. Like what's up with crop circles and black people? I never hear them in the same sentence together. Please talk to me about, because that's some amazing sacred geometry. I don't know if it's real or fake, but please talk to me about crop circles and black people. What's the deal, y'all?
Crop
Look.
circles are basically cosmic hieroglyphics.
Okay.
That's all it is. It's another way to basically imprint sigils and messages basically connected to Earth. It's really like warning signals. That's all it is. That's my perspective when it comes to crop circles.
Okay.
Cornrows or braids in African American or African people's hair is a form of a crop circle. Back in the slavery,
I never heard that one.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Back in the slavery days, we used to give each other escape routes with certain designs and certain symbols and sigils that we would put in the cornrows in our friend's hair.
Damn.
So like, oh yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep. And the crop circles that come from the UFOs obviously is their message that they want to relate to humanity. But you know, we picked up on that over time. And one of the, you know, we had the crop circles that we carved into our skin, which are tattoos, and then we put the same designs in our hair.
Right,
Many
close
of
that out, man. Crop circles and black people. Is there a connection? I never hear them in the same sentence, Rod. This is brilliant. RFG, thank you. B-Dell, thank you. Go ahead, Rod.
everywhere we at, we have some stuff called petroglyphs.
Mm-hmm.
These are writings on flower pots, writings on walls and caves, on sides of mountains. Everywhere we ever been, you have these symbols written by ancients. You can go in Arizona right now, and there's walls and walls of writings, and many of them are the same symbols that's in crop circles.
Okay.
So it's a higher consciousness trying to communicate with people on Earth that has developed itself to a consciousness high enough to read the physics, so that they can translate the symbols for the people to know what we being told. Right? So it is a connection, but remember, the crop circle is fairly new phenomenon to most of the world. So we were not going to relate it to the fact that it matched ancient symbols and ancient pottery of us around the world. The original earthborn. We had the Dogon. Many of the symbols of the crop circles can be found in some of their stuff. They all telling messages, but we don't remember symbolism, and we think that the written word is the way that we was communicating before we start writing. Make it make sense.
Interesting.
So I've heard Rod say that I guess the DNA. I told y'all about this video I seen you on. And it was a YouTube short. But you dropped so much shit within that short, Rod. Shout out to Young Elder. I think Rod said that the DNA upgrades is coming via sound. Did you say it's coming through sound?
Through energy, through the UV waves, the
Yeah.
frequency. This human resonance is what is going to be carried on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The women going to experience it first
Mm-hmm.
because the mitochondria during the early days of gestation is also examining the DNA for all defects,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So while the DNA, the mitochondria is mainly scanning the Y chromosome because it's the newest
Okay.
chromosome in the human genome.
Right.
Yep.
So it still had to go through a refinement and development phase. Just go back to what you was talking about, Bobby Hemmett saying we're going to be a different species.
Yeah.
Because all of the information that the collective of all women collected on their mitochondrial network is fed back to the earth, which feeds it to the sun, which corrects the DNA through the crystals,
Mm-hmm.
right? The sun tell the earth to tune in to this frequency, this modulation, this amplitude, and then send the blast out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the human resonance blast is the earth's response to what the sun said do. The women then genetically begin to alter the genome. In other words, rewrite the human genome,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right? This is why they are the creator gods, the master mason, because it's through the genetic being developed that you can find perfection in the organism in order for the higher self to have a more operational mechanical mechanism in the 3D to express itself.
Mm-hmm.
So this side effect, what it looked like is in the 1960s basketball, they can't do what they do now. Genetics are being upgraded based off the collective consciousness and the genetic need to correct the error because too many basketball players from back then, if they do the stuff these players do, would be in. So the body has to adjust and somebody got to tell it to. So when all this stuff happens, the DNA changes, it changes the species of the human. A whole new genetic stock.
How important is in terms of the DNA upgrade and who we are and us becoming a new species? How important is I want to talk to you about singers. And the reason I want to talk to you about singers is because everything is sound. The universe was created with sound. I just asked about sound. We know about cymatics and something interesting. My son actually, he, obviously every kid for whatever reason resonates with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is so timeless. You know, every kid resonates with Michael Jackson music when they hear it or see his videos or whatever. But my son actually, he heard a song, a R. Kelly song on the radio. My son was like, "Yo, what's that? I want to hear more of that." I'm like, "Damn, should I play more R. Kelly shit for him and tell him like yo?" Because R. Kelly was one of the baddest motherfuckers we had in the last 30 years.
Right.
But he got caught up in the human shit. I want to talk about singers and how important they are to what we call galactic ascension. There's so many names for it, whatever we want to call it. The upgrade, DNA upgrade, because we see what's going on with Diddy. Now, Diddy's not technically a singer, but he had a huge influence over the music industry. How important are singers to what we're talking about, this whole show, what we're talking about right now with us becoming a new species? And the reason why I ask that is because we're a musical people. We're the rhythm nation of the planet. Children learn through song. So talk to me about the importance of singers moving into this new paradigm shift that we're undergoing.
Well, especially like R&B music, it helps you tap into the love frequency. So that's why you don't see much of a propagation of R&B nowadays. Everything is pretty much, hip hop. But in order to tap into that love frequency, that is connected to your authenticity. Like I tell people all the time, like a lot of times when I work out, I don't just work out to hip hop music. I work out to R&B music. Sometimes, like I say, you gotta tap into that love energy, and in order to reach the apex of your higher self, sometimes you just gotta, try different things or whatever. But as far as like the octave vibration of R&B music or whatever, it has an ethereal energy. You ever heard of the children of Zimbabwe when they said that they had a visit from extraterrestrial species or whatever?
Yeah.
They said that when they heard the spaceships or whatever, it had like a ethereal, it had like a flute noise to it. So a lot of times singers, they have that same vibration because our octave vibrations, it travels on Ethereal oscillating signals, basically. So that's just my take on that.
Deep, Fidel. Okay.
Yep. Music is like the foundation, one of the base foundations of culture. And before gangster rap was put to the forefront in like the late 80s, early 90s, our people were break dancers, were pure innovators. You know what I'm saying? Like major artists, like the biggest innovators in the world. And, hip hop was needed for so many different genres, for so many different avenues of life. But I feel like what hip hop has become in the past 15 plus years, I feel that our music is actually devolving more than it's actually evolving.
Yeah. No, definitely. I just heard Lil Durk got locked up, man. I was like, damn, man, it hurt me in the head. Like I was rooting for that young brother. I just heard, Lil Durk got locked up, and I think conspiracy. What he got locked up for, yo? Conspiracy or murder or something like that?
Something along those lines. I didn't look into it. Somebody just sent me the message on Instagram.
Yeah, man. But it's a shame that so many of our artists get caught up in the system, or they get caught up in the bullshit within the industry. So it is what it is.
Remember the Pied Piper?
Yes.
Music is it's a heart language.
It's a what? Say that again, Rod. It's a what?
It's a heart language.
Heart language. Music, yes.
Yeah.
Like
and
I said.
if you go back to, they call us the salt of the earth in the Bible. What do salt do when you cook with it? It balances out all of the flavors in the food.
Yeah.
Music is the baseline or the theme music to life. When the theme music gets stale, they come out with a new soundtrack. Right? You could start with Scott Joplin and work your way through the different genres of jazz alone, and you can see how many branches it sprang off into. Right? The same with the blues. It turned into R&B, rhythm and blues, turned into pop music, soul music, right? And this is always coming from us because we the salt of the earth. Meaning that we have to be tired of the trend in order for it to effectively be changed.
Right.
Rock and roll played out, we created disco. Right? When disco played out, then here come hip hop. Right? Now, hip hop come in simultaneously with techno. And some of the early hip hop artists was sampling techno music for certain sounds they needed.
Right.
I think Africa Bambaataa was one of the most notorious ones. Right. The instrument of music is always to talk to the heart. Right. And anywhere we create a music, that music is going to be coded with messages because of the pattern of the musical layout in the sheet music.
Okay.
If words to the sheet music they're going to be tapping into specific points of frequency in the subconscious mind. Then later on, as the time develops, you'll be able to extract messages out of the music that's telling you a story, right? But this is all part of the development of a new culture in the middle of an existing culture.
Yep. I'm just waiting to see what's going to be the new genre after hip hop.
I think it's going to go back into the instrumental realm. You ever seen the movie Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind? In order to tap into the ability to connect and communicate with extraterrestrials, or whatever you want to call them, you had to use the octave vibration of instruments. That's the only way you would be able to connect with those beings on the communication level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was all radio wave frequencies, instrumentals. They even showed that in the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was able to manipulate the language and connect with higher interdimensional entities based upon music frequencies.
Yep. It all started out with different instruments, but you rarely see, the artists now using them. But I think it should get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
A cool side note, NASA, when they trying to communicate with beings from different places, they send Beethoven and Bach.
I heard about that. That's true, Rod. That's true.
Yeah. It's all their paperwork.
Wow. So you notice the word mentals in there, instrumental, for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental language. Tap into your higher abilities. Because I think if you listen to classical music, I do it to my son. I let classical music play lightly in the background while he sleep because it helps weigh out both hemispheres of the brain.
Right.
Well, they did many studies on that too, Brother Rick. Using that classical music and fetal development, and plant and all kind of stuff. They use those different musics, and it stimulates the synaptic network. Right. So if the synaptic network is just building and it's being stimulated, it's going to build itself thicker, faster, and stronger. Yeah. A lot of baby geniuses now are being born from listening to classical music during gestation.
I'm glad y'all mentioned that. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Y'all know my lady's pregnant, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. Beat up. Thanks for bringing that up. The classical music, because that's some. You read and study so much. I forgot about that part, the classical music part. So I'm definitely gonna keep that in mind. We don't get to listen. We about to hit the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna take 3 questions from the chat before we get out here, y'all. I don't want to keep the brothers too long tonight. It's already 11. I appreciate it. It's 11:01. It's the 111. It's the 111. It just happened like that. It's the 111. But I'm gonna get to 3 questions, and then we're gonna get out of here. Absolutely magnificent show. We got about 4,300 people in the chat. Wow, 4,300 people in the chat. Shout out to all of y'all. Let's get to 3 questions. Let me see if I got any questions in the super chat before I. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get to a super chat question. Shout out to the super chat. Appreciate the support. You know what? Because somebody, family, brothers. Before I get to the super chat, tell the family, because somebody asked about supporting y'all. Y'all Cash App if they want to show y'all some love on the Cash App or whatever. Before we get to the 3 questions, y'all, we can start out with RFG, then B-Dale, then Rod Hayes. If you got a Cash App or whatever, and the family want to show y'all love, let them know how they could do that, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have PayPal, and I just recently created a Cash App like about 2 weeks ago. So if you want to Cash App me, you can send whatever to $capital RFG capital CHOSEN the number 1. That is capital RFG capital CHOSEN 1 the number 1 and as well as PayPal, amoapoxia@gmail.com. So that's AMOAPOKSIA@gmail.com for PayPal donations.
All right, be down.
It's $ Brydell Rice, BRYDELLRICE.
Okay. And Rod.
Mine is $ capital SIK capital APE.
All right, I think King Simon's in the chat. If King Simon's in the chat, he'll write it down. Shout out to King Simon if you're in the chat. If you could put that in the chat while we get to a couple of these questions. Let's get to this first super chat. All right, Armani says, Rich and Panel of Kings, do you think they watch you and schedule these bullshit election events like tonight on purpose to try to throw off the energy because they know what's up? Please ask.
The entire electoral process is nothing but an illusion. You only had two presidents out of 46 that tried to like make some form of a significant change, and they were assassinated. So 44 out of 46 presidents, basically did everything that their puppet masters ordered them to do. And there's been no president to change the economic status or the fact that we're looked at as fourth and fifth class citizens in this country. There's been no presidential candidate to change that dynamic, and I don't believe that there ever will be.
That's something the president can't change anyway. He can't do nothing to make people treat people any kind of way. He don't have that jurisdictional authority.
Right.
But the whole political stage show is a distraction. The only reason it's there is so that you don't know that we being dictated to. Right? They attribute the writing of the bills to this senator or that congressman. They ain't wrote jack. They didn't write nothing. Somebody gave it to them and said, "This is your agenda." That's part of the process of being over there. If you realize that it's a political satire and stop participating in it. But as far as them trying to disrupt the energy, they don't schedule it because Brother Rich scheduled the show. They schedule it based off time, day, and stellar alignment. Because that's how they determine how to interrupt the energy. By time, day, and stellar alignment. And if they can control when the energy is disrupted, they can control the outcome of putting the energy back in order.
Indeed. Fire. Somebody is a little upset in the chat, and they keep writing, name one female. Well, I don't know if they're upset, but they keep writing, name one female in the Galactic Council. So go ahead, y'all. What's going on? Are any females in the Galactic Council? Because
the Lyrans have a council of female advisors to the Galactic Council, and a representative that sits on the Galactic Council that's female. The Arcturians have 2 people sitting on the council, 1 male, 1 female. I'm not going to go through the whole Galactic Council, but there's plenty of women on the Galactic Council.
Okay. All right.
According to the Dogon, the center of the galaxy is female.
Yeah, Big Mama controlling everything anyway. So,
and we call her Power, and that's why she's on the 13th zodiac seat, dead center in the temple of GINDJAB.
All right, let's get to another question. Hopefully this person isn't as mad. Are the entities that are pulling up to assist humanity new breeds of humans?
I would call them ancient breeds.
Say that again.
Well,
say that again.
I said I would call them ancient breeds.
Okay.
Them bloodlines are not what we have become on Earth now.
Okay.
Remember, they were separated, genetically separated for a long period of time. And what happens, you develop from a lion and a tiger from the same source.
Right.
Fundamentally different cats, but they're compatible with each other sexually.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, look.
Y'all, shout
You know, if the people in this country really understood the level of innocent Charles Manson was, it would really shake the foundation of everything they believe. Charles Manson was what's called the first whistleblower on record. He was the first one telling us about the LSD program, why he was using LSD, by the way, that he was getting from the government, by the way, that the government admitted to giving to him to give to the children of the family, that he was supposed to be formulating a war with Joseph Sinkyu, who later became the Symbionese Liberation Army. All this is government records.
Man, this is deep.
Right? But we don't want to read no government records. We rather go read some Louis L'Amour or some Anne Rice if we read at all.
Right.
Right? Very few people is nosy as me to go looking and saying what the government say about it. This nigga put it in the book, but what did the government say about it?
Right.
Right. And when you pull the government document, now you got the action. I put a post up and I said, we exposed them lying liars and the lies they lied about and signed they lying ass names to the lies they told. Right? This how you find out who the dirt dealers is, by finding out who created the condition, who told him to create the condition. So if they telling you that it's an operational government program, formerly known as Artichoke, but because they almost got exposed, they changed the name to MK Ultra. Right? Now, when they changed the name to MK Ultra, they drafted all of the greatest scientists from Canada and the United States, because they are in a war, Cold War-like condition with the rise of this guy they call Adolf Hitler. While he's rising, he's doing psychological research too, that he was privy to through the Thule Society, and all of modern psychiatry and psychology is derived from temple priest rites. And if you don't know what the temple priest taught, you would never equate what the psychiatrist, the psychologist, your AA, your ENA, all that is pyramid priest culture. If you go back to the Zulu tribe, when the men come back from war, they got a detox period that they have to go through before they matriculate back into society. Now, why would you need that? We are all post-traumatic